So what is compression? We're going to look at how the very best players in the world compress the ball and look at a simple drill with some key points that you can take away which will allow you to compress the ball like the very best players in the world. So we have a lot of people talking about compression. What actually is compression? Well, compression is getting the golf ball to come off the face at maximum speed and maximum force. But we hear that some great ball strikers out there, you're talking Sergio Garcia and Henrik Stenson come to mind, who people say they make a different noise. Why do they make a different noise? What is it that they're doing? Well, they're combining these multiple factors. What they're doing is they're making sure that they've got their hands in front of the ball at impact. The right hand will be down at the ground. The left hand will be in front of the ball. They're hitting it with a descending blow, so the angle of attack will be more downwards. They've got the weight over the left side, the sternum will be on top of the ball, and so too will the right shoulder be travelling through with that right hand. All of these will be hit with maximum speed and a square club face. So these things together are what allowing this player to get the golf ball to be squashed against the face with more force, because this force is the pressure on that golf ball. Now, to do this, you've got to make sure that you've got that weight shift across the impact. That's one of the first things. If you are hitting it off that right side, you'll never get compression because you're going to have to extend with that right hand. The right hand loses its pressure against the side of the shaft, and therefore the face angle will change. Quite a lot of the time, that affects the impact location. Need to be aware that when you've got that weight across, the sternum can then be more on top of the ball. As the sternum's more on top of the ball, the chest can open more at impact, and therefore the right shoulder can be more on top at impact. When the right shoulder is on top more at impact, we're going to get the right palm and the club face travelling through together so that they are matching. Some people will use a reference point. I've heard Lee Trevino say that he figured out that it was the back of the left hand control where the club face was going, and you hear some people talk about how the right palm controls where the club face is going. That's an individual thing for certain players, but the two will coincide because they're very, very closely matched to one another. But I like to think about that right palm just keeping that pressure of it. The index finger of the right hand, there's the pressure of the shaft and it's maintaining its pressure downwards this way, which means that club face is coming through very, very square. If you've got that club face coming through square, as long as your arc isn't too far off in one way or direction or another, you'll be able to hit really straight golf shots, but also provide that maximum pressure downwards. The other thing that we're going to be looking at is you've got to make sure that you've got a fairly stable upper spine, okay? You don't want your head to be drifting too far one way or the other, because if it goes too far forwards, it'll have to check backwards, and if it stays backwards, then the arms will generally have to chase forwards. So it's making sure that we have a look at how we can get the weight forwards, the hands downwards, hitting it with this square club face, and therefore really get that maximum power out of it. So we're going to have a look at a little drill that's going to allow you to learn how to compress the ball properly, and then have a look at some factors that are in there that you can use at reference points and see, are you applying the principles that the very best ball strikers in the world are doing. The half swing drill is going to give you the feeling of impact. So what we'll do is we'll combine it with making sure that you've still got a wrist set going back, so the club's loaded here. Then from here we're going to get the weight shift across. So for me, I feel like left knee moves for my swing. That's the first thing that helped me get the weight shift across. Head stays back. Right palm's now looking towards the golf ball. I feel the shaft loading against the index finger of the right hand. From there, I'm going to turn the body through. Right shoulder's covering the golf ball. And then from here, right shoulder, right hip, right knee, right hand and club are travelling through together. I've then got the weight into the left heel here under the follow through, and the club face hasn't passed the hands. Reference point will be that the belt buckle will be at or to the left of the target at this point. Hands will be on the heel line, but the club head won't have passed the hands. This will therefore give me as much speed as I can generate in that golf swing, but should allow me to keep that club face nice and square on the way through. It'll give me the compression, and it'll allow me to match those movements together, and that will give me the compression that I'm after. So I get a little practice swing as a feel, so go back here, make that movement through, And then the idea is now going to be, I'm just going to match that movement back and through, getting that feel of the compression. So we're going to take a little half swing and then make sure that we turn that body on the way through, make sure that the pressure is maintained in the right palm to the end of the follow through and the body is in charge. So I can see I've finished there. That's quite a straight shot. The hands haven't passed the heel line. The club head is still outside the hands, it's square, and the ball has come off with loads of compression. It's come off with a nice low penetrating flight, nice ball turf contact. That's what you're going to be trying to look for. You're trying to get that arms and body matching and make sure that that body is in charge of that club, and that you look at those factors of body on top of the ball, right shoulder travelling through with right palm, hitting it with a square club face, and having all of those factors together, which will mean that you're going to get more compression on that golf ball. Hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. Thanks a lot for watching, and talk with you again very soon.